Hi guys, today in this video, we'll talk about the BRICS plan to create its own currency for international transactions and the strong reactions from the United States, especially the threats from Donald Trump. The elected president of the United States announced that he would impose 100% tariffs on BRICS countries if they proceed with creating their own currency. In statements made on his social media, Trump asserted that the United States will not just stand by while BRICS countries try to distance themselves from the dollar. Trump demanded that bloc members abandon any plans to create or support a currency that rivals the American one, under penalty of facing severe consequences, particularly in the trade arena. These threats didn't come out of nowhere. During his campaign, Trump emphasized his protectionist stance, advocating for measures such as aggressive tariffs to protect the U.S. economy, targeting especially China, with whom Trump waged a full-scale trade war during his first administration. But what's behind these threats? The answer lies in the global reliance on the dollar. About 88% of foreign exchange transactions and 59% of central bank reserves worldwide are still in U.S. dollars. Additionally, the dollar is widely used in critical sectors like oil trading. This dominant position allows the U.S. to wield considerable geopolitical power, such as imposing economic sanctions and controlling access to international financial systems. Trump views the BRICS de-dollarization effort as a direct affront to this American power and influence. By threatening sky-high tariffs, he's not only defending the United States' economic interests, but also sending a clear message that the U.S. will not accept challenges to its leadership without retaliation. Originally composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, BRICS has recently expanded to include countries like Iran, the United Arab Emirates, and Ethiopia. The proposal to create its own currency is not new but has gained momentum in recent years, especially amid rising tensions between the U.S. and some of the bloc's nations. The idea is simple but audacious: reduce dependence on the dollar and increase the bloc's economic autonomy. Historically, the dollar's dominance as the global currency began after World War II with the Bretton Woods Agreement. At that time, the dollar was pegged to gold, and other currencies were pegged to the dollar. Even after this system ended in the 1970s, the dollar remained dominant due to the size of the U.S. economy, the stability of its institutions, and trust in its financial markets. However, U.S. policies in recent decades, including the use of economic sanctions as a geopolitical tool, have created tensions with other powers. Countries like Russia and China see creating an alternative currency as a way to circumvent these restrictions. Vladimir Putin, who leads the world's most sanctioned country following the invasion of Ukraine in 2022, recently stated that BRICS' goal is not to directly attack the dollar, but to protect itself from its instrumentalization by the U.S., achieved through sanctions made possible by the dollar's global dominance. Additionally, other BRICS leaders, like Lula, have openly questioned why international trade still relies so heavily on the dollar. In fact, it was at Lula's direct suggestion in 2023 that the idea of creating a BRICS currency to finance trade among bloc countries emerged. A BRICS-specific currency would be a highly complex undertaking, but not impossible. The current proposal is for the currency to be backed by a basket of the member countries' national currencies, or even gold reserves. Alternatively, there are discussions about creating a digital currency based on blockchain, enabling fast, secure transactions without traditional financial intermediaries. If implemented, this currency could operate parallel to national currencies, being used exclusively for transactions among bloc countries. This would reduce currency conversion costs and lessen exposure to dollar fluctuations. However, there are significant challenges to implementing a common currency. First, the BRICS members' economies differ vastly in size, stability, and monetary policies. While China is a global economic powerhouse, other countries like South Africa, Iran, and Brazil face fiscal and currency challenges. Reconciling these differences into a single currency is seen as a monumental task, even almost impossible by some analysts. Another sensitive issue is China's potential hegemony within the bloc. Many countries fear that a BRICS currency would only strengthen the Chinese yuan's position, making other bloc economies even more dependent on Beijing. In practice, BRICS members might be trading their current reliance on the U.S. dollar for a new monetary dependence, but this time with China. The creation of a BRICS-specific currency is, above all, a direct challenge to the financial status quo established by the US. To understand Trump's reaction, it's crucial to consider how the dollar benefits the US. It's not only the leading international trade currency, but, above all, an instrument of power. As mentioned earlier, it's thanks to the dollar that the US can impose economic sanctions and limit countries' access to the global financial system. However, if BRICS moves forward with its currency, much of the US's power will inevitably diminish. Beyond losing geopolitical power, this de-dollarization would have profound implications for the US economy. Lower demand for dollars could lead to currency devaluation, higher borrowing costs, and reduced capacity to finance the US's deeply deficit-driven fiscal system. Additionally, the United States' global influence depends significantly on its ability to control financial flows. With a BRICS currency, countries under sanctions, such as Russia and Iran, would have much more freedom to trade, weakening the effectiveness of sanctions and reducing the US's ability to use the dollar as a geopolitical tool. Trump, as an advocate of protectionist policies, understands that any threat to the dollar's position is also a direct threat to US supremacy, with his threats of 100% tariffs reflecting the seriousness with which the White House views this BRICS initiative. More than an economic issue, this is about control over the global system. The creation of an alternative currency is seen as BRICS' attempt to reshape global financial structures, reducing dollar dependence and promoting greater economic autonomy. On the other hand, Trump is willing to protect his country's hegemonic position at any cost. However, as we've seen, internal challenges and political dynamics among BRICS countries may hinder the implementation of this currency. Either way, we are witnessing a crucial moment in world economic and geopolitical history, whose developments could shape the future of international relations. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the best news from the military and political world.